Hi subscribers and viewers of OWUUBII channel. I want to welcome you back to this wonderful channel. So in this video, I'm simply going to talk about series of features in the P series Yeastar IP-Pbx. So I'm going to speak about feature by feature, okay, and I'm going to do it in a series way. So kindly stay tuned and please watch out for this channel. Thank you. So without wasting time, let's go ahead and deal with the first feature. So let me now log in into the cloud IP-Pbx, the P series IP-Pbx, and then start with its configuration. Okay, so if you look at the left part of the IP-Pbx, you could see certain features, okay, that comes with this IP-Pbx system, like the extension and trunk, the contacts, auto provisioning, call control, call features, PBS settings, system security, maintenance, integrations, reports and recordings. Okay, so all these rich features that comes with this PBS system are going to be introduced to you people, and I'm going to explain how it works, okay, so that you can actually really comprehend this IP-Pbx system, so that basically you can afford to have some ideas about how to go about this system whenever you come across it. So the first one to tackle is extension and trunk, of which I've dealt with it already, but as I said, I'm going to do it in a serious way. So this is the first thing. Extension, this is where you actually create a number of extensions, basically figures, okay, figures which could be 100, 101 or 200 or otherwise, or any other figures you provide here. And you actually need to create extensions for you to be able to have them work on your hard phones or your soft phones. Your soft phones, I mean a software you've downloaded onto your mobile phone or onto your laptop, and be able to configure an extension onto it. That is what is called soft phone. Okay, on your hard phone is your hard IP telephone phone. I mean your physical IP telephone phone, where you connect your RJ45 cable. These are certain basic extensions I've created. Okay, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. So these are extensions which can be registered onto your soft phone or onto your hard phone for them to get working, right? And so if you watch carefully, these are certain icons here. This is a hard phone, a hard IP phone, a computer. This looks like a desktop or a PlayStation or something, and this looks like a server. Okay, so this is where you can actually see the online status. If it's available, you will know according to the icon you are seeing here. Now this is the presence. If they are available, you'll be able to know. As you can see here, these are all available. Otherwise, you can click on it to edit it as an administrator to this IP-Pbx or a supervisor. If they are away, okay, or they've gone for a lunch break, you can simply click here and then you save. It changes, okay, it takes effect. I hope you understand. The same way you can, if the person is off work, didn't come to work, you can click on it and then it saves. So you'll be able to understand and know that, okay, this particular extension didn't come to work, it's available, it's on business trip. You understand? Yes. So this is how you can deal with extension, and this is for the presence. Now if we move to the extension numbers, these are a group of numbers. This is what you actually use to register an extension on an IP phone or a soft phone. Okay, so these are the figures. If we click, let's say this guy, so I'll show you what exactly you need to be able to register on a hard phone or a soft phone. So you basically need the extension number, the caller ID sometimes. So basically you need the extension number, you need the registration name, you need the password, and lastly you need the IP address of the IP-Pbx system. Okay, if it's a domain name, fine. At the end of it, you'll be required to fill in an IP address or a domain name for the extension to be able to register on the soft phone or on the hard phone. Okay, let's go back. Now the next is a user role. Okay, with regards to user role, this is the point at which you assign privileges and rights to each extension. Meaning if you assign administrator to this extension, as example, you'll be able to have access to all the resources in the extension. Okay, the same way applies to this this extension as well. If you assign a user role, this is it, human resource. The person will have privileges assigned to the human resource group. Okay, so these are in a way user group policy. These are user group policies in Yeastar IP-Pbx. So this is one rich feature that comes with this IP-Pbx system. Okay, so let's go back to extension. So user role, this is where you actually assign privileges and rights to extensions, and they are actually bound and limited to the user role you assign to them. Okay, then you have your email column here. Okay, so this is, so example, if I assign this email, if I assign an email here, okay, here JJ, yes, or something. You'll see it listed here. So this is the email of the particular extension. Okay, all right. Now under each extension, I'm going to explain what you can find under each extension and their purpose. And so let me take this extension as an example. Under this extension, you'll be able to see user, presence, voicemail, features, advanced security, linkers, client, phone, and then function keys, right? And so if we take the first one, which is user, this is where you can actually find details of a particular extension. For example, the first name, the last name, the email, mobile number, user password, user role. If you scroll down, extension information. This is the extension information. This is the caller ID of the extension, the registration name, the concurrent IP phone registrations. Okay, the outbound caller ID. So this is where you can set the outbound caller ID, and this is actually emergency outbound caller ID, right? If we move on to the presence, okay, so this is where you can also assign a presence to this extension, i.e. available, away, business trip, do not disturb, lunch break, off work. So if it's available, presence information, okay, example, away, on a business trip, let me find it. So you can contact Maxwell for assistance. Okay, let me correct this. You can contact Maxwell for assistance. So this is the presence information. And then if you scroll down, it says call forwarding, internal calls. If no answer, I want it to be sent to this extension. When busy, I want it to be sent to this extension. Okay, so here you have the choice to choose the extension you want when busy to be sent to. And at this point you have the other features. If you are busy, should it be sent to voicemail or your IVR, ring group, queue, group, voicemail? All these parts will be dealt with, and they are interlinked with extensions and trunk. Okay, if we move down, these are external calls, meaning calls coming in from outside. Okay, when call comes in and no answer, where should it be sent to? Your voicemail, or you have the chance to choose any other feature you want. Okay, when busy, let's say you want it to be sent to a ring group. We've not created it, so basically let me leave it sent to us this extension. Okay, the ring first extension, endpoint, linkers, desktop clients. You see, this is the soft phone. Link Us is a proprietary soft phone from Yeastar. Yeastar is the only firm that has access to Link Us, and I guess it was programmed and created by them. And so you can see the Link Us mobile client, Link Us web client. These are all selected, which means these extensions can be registered on Link Us client, I mean soft phone. And this is the ring out. So this is the number of times this phone this extension should ring before it times out. Then you have the options down here. Ring the mobile number simultaneously. You provide a prefix and your number here. If you click on accept push notifications, it means you'll be able to be notified on this extension. Okay, so that is it with presence. If we move on to voicemail, this is where the first thing is to enable the voicemail on this particular extension. If it's disabled, its voicemail feature will not work. Okay, and so if you see here, it says voicemail pin authentication. If enabled and you receive a voicemail, you'll be asked to be authenticated with this pin. Okay, this is the pin for this extension before the voicemail can play out to you. Okay, so new voicemail notification. When you get a notification, this is the option: do not send email notifications. Send email notifications with attachment. Send email notifications without attachment. So these are the options you can find. So this is what I want. After notification, do not mark as read. Okay, mark as read. Now, if you receive the voicemail, should the date and time be played to you? Caller ID be played to you? Message duration? Okay, I want this to be done. I want this and I want this. Okay. If you come down, you have this voicemail greeting, default greeting. So basically it's about what the voicemail will actually say to you first on this in trying to access this extension. Okay, it's like greeting, good morning. Then it further brings out whatever message it needs to send to you. Okay, so you have available. You can record a voice. If you are away, you can do same. Do not disturb, business trip, lunch. You can actually record a sound for your voicemail, so that in case you have an inbound call and it doesn't get to you and it's being forwarded to your voicemail will end up playing this voice greeting. Okay, it will end up playing this voice greeting according to your presence. So these are your presence. Okay, if we move on to features, you have notifications. Send email notification when the user password is changed. Right, this is for security reasons and for evidence reasons. So the other one is send email notifications on missed calls. Yeah, maybe I need this in addition, so that I will know exactly the number of people who have made a call to my extension. Okay, now call recording. Allow extension to view recordings. It's as simple as that. The second option is allow extension to pause or resume call recording during a call, into bracket, by pressing the recording button in the Linkers client or dialing the feature code *1 in the Linkers client IP phone. Okay, so if you want it, you just highlight it or disable it. Call all busy mode for endpoints. So if enabled, when one of the endpoints of the extension is busy, all the extension's other endpoints will forward new incoming calls to the busy destination. This setting will not affect the extension's outgoing calls. That's it. Now we have time conditional presence auto switch. So we have business hours. Okay, when it's business hours, you make it available. So example, this is it. When it's break hours, you make it lunch break. When it's holidays, you select away. When it's outside business hours, you do not disturb, right? Yes, so these are the options down here under features. Then you have call handling based on caller ID. Okay, so example, based on caller ID, let's say 100 action. Call handling. Okay, so call handling. So let's say voicemail. Confirm. So call handling based on call ID, right? So if I select this extension and the voicemail, any call that comes to voice or caller ID 100, a voicemail will be played out to the person. If we move on to advanced, this is the VoIP, voice over IP settings, DTMF mode, okay, protocols of this IP-Pbx system, and this is the transport. Now let's move on to security. Now we have SIP security, SIP user agent identification. When registering, SIP phones will send packets containing the user agent string. If the prefix of the user agent does not match the value defined here, the registration will fail. This match is case insensitive. Example, if you fill in yearlink here, only the phones whose user agent prefix is yearlink can register this extension. So that is it, okay? But that's not what we're doing, so let me disable it. Here it says SIP registration IP restriction. Enable IP restriction. So it says restrict the IP that can register on this extension. Check this option to enhance voice over IP security. The input format should be IP address / subnet mask. So the examples are provided down here. Okay. So it means if you provide only this IP address, that is the only IP address which will be allowed to register this extension number. Okay. Any other IP address specified will not work, and this is good for security. Okay. Now we have call restrictions. We have disable outbound calls for this extension. Okay. And it doesn't apply to emergency numbers or emergency calls out. Disable outbound calls outside business hours. So this is also for security wise. So if during business hours, you should be able to make calls outside with this extension when this is enabled. After business hours, you cannot make calls with this extension. Okay. If you move downwards, you see outbound call frequency restriction, and then we have maximum outbound call durations. We have the outbound route permission. These are all features that comes under security. The next one is the linkers clients. Okay. So at this point, it says please remember to enter the email of the extension if linkers client needs to be used, or the extension cannot log in successfully. So basically that's what it says. You need email address of the extension you want to use in the linker soft phone, which you should have provided when you were creating the extension. Okay. So you need the email address to be able to register your extension on a linker's soft phone. So this is a QR code you can use to scan to be able to use the linkers on your mobile phone. Okay, you have the login link to here. So you have the linkers mobile client, linkers desktop client, linkers web client. Right. Then down here you see operator panel and phone books. And these are some of the operator panel and phone books which has been created. Let me edit this one and see what is in So you have the extension group, user type, user, manager, custom. So just for the extension, if you change it to manager, you can have, then you have access to all these options here, right? But it's just for users, so we cannot really do anything much. If we come to phone, this is where if you were able to successfully configure this extension on a hard phone, I mean an IP phone or a soft phone, you will see it listed here. Okay, and then you have the function keys. So these are function keys. They have their value. So these are function keys on your hard phones, I mean your hard IP phones. Any configuration you do here, I mean configure here, affects the function key. So example, if I want to speed dial, okay, speed dial to which extension, maybe this extension, it means if I press on key function 1, it's going to speed dial this extension. That's what it basically means, right? So depending on the kind of configuration you actually configure here, affects this extension. If we move downward, that's extension group, a group of extensions. Okay, so this is where you can actually select the members. So these are members, select members, all extensions, or you can do a customized selection of the extensions. So example, I want this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy to be part of the extension group. Okay, you can go ahead and give it a name, some name, maybe operations. Then you save. So this is my extension group, which is operation. You can go ahead and create more. Okay, but basically let's dwell on this guy. So if you are done creating this extension group, you have, if you move on to the next tab, this is the group permissions. So these are privileges or rights given to this group, as in what they can do and what they cannot do. So you have basic here, and then beneath it you have group information visibility. It says specified extensions who will be able to see the member list of the group in the extension list. The group member list will not be visible to unselected extensions. So this is what you do here. So if someone, I mean any extension is not part of the group, they are not going to see it according to what you do here. Okay, if we scroll down, you have permission configuration, and then manager, then allow using operator panel, switch group members presence, call distribution management, that's into bracket redirect, transfer, drag and drop operation, pick up or hang up other extensions calls, call monitoring operations, call packing operations, route calls directly from IVR regardless of the IVR menu. So these are the other options you have down here. Okay, now let's move to trunk. And mind you, what we've tackled already with regards to the extensions moves with the trunk. Okay, so example, I created this trunk. I've created this trunk already, and in my previous video I made you understand that trunks are the medium by which you can reach people outside your premises, and then they can also reach you in your premises. And so example, this is the IP trunk. That's the name I've given it. it's enabled. If you come downwards, you see a detailed configuration of it. So this is the type of trunk type I want, and the host name or the IP address has been specified here. The domain has been specified. The protocol has been specified here as well. The username, password, authentication name has been specified. Okay, if you have any outbound proxy, then you select it or leave it at default. Okay, if you move to the next tab on the trunk, these are the codecs that supports this PBX system. Okay, so we have the codec settings. These are the codecs. Else, you can select any other one according to your region and how it works there. The VoIP settings, you have DTMF mode, and then under it you have these options to be selected. Okay, and then we have call restriction type, outbound call, maximum concurrent calls. So this is where you can specify and then do a limitation according to what you require. Let's move to the next tab, which is DIDs or DDIS. These are all terms in voice over IP systems. And as you can see, it's simply to create something like this. It's just a name. Okay. The next thing is inbound caller ID reformatting. Let me add something and see. Okay, pattern strip, prepend. Caller ID name. Okay. Let me save. Okay, I've saved it. Let me go back to trunk. Okay, let me add outbound caller ID list. So you have the option create method. I think these are certain advanced configurations you can implement according to what you want to do. Okay, so you have the outbound caller ID, shared outbound caller ID, outbound caller ID, associated extensions. You want this outbound caller ID to have effect on. And then lastly, we have SIP headers. Okay, so under SIP headers we have inbound parameters, get caller ID from follow system, from contact, remote party ID. These are options you can select. Okay, if you scroll down, you have this outbound parameters. So from user path, so you have these options here to select. From display name, you have these options. Diversion, P asserted identity. Okay, if you move down, you have other settings like the user agent, send privacy ID, user phone, and the rest. If you move down to role, this is where the user group policy is being implemented in the Yeastar voice IP-Pbx system. Example, you have the administrator. Under administrator, you have this extension and trunk. manage extensions. So you have access to all extensions. Okay, else one could specify a role like all the other extensions of the same extension groups, specific extension itself only. Okay, but in this case, this group of administrator has access to all extensions. If you go down, you see contacts, access to all company contacts, phone books, LD, AP, server. Call control, have access to all the features under call control. Call features has access to all features under call features. Reports and recordings, auto provisioning, PBS settings, system security, maintenance, integration plan. So basically Twitter group has access to all these roles, right? If we go back, we have certain user groups like supervisor, operator, employee, human resource, accounting. Each of these groups have limited roles. Okay, example, employee has a very limited role. Okay, so basically this is how the extension and trunk part of the IP-Pbx system works out. Okay, and these two main features in the IP-Pbx system, or the P series Yeastar IP-Pbx system, actually work together, and that is the basic setup. If you just want it to just start working, whereby you can internally call each other and make calls outside and inside, this is basically what you need to do first before you proceed to the advanced features. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. Hi subscribers and viewers, thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, share and like my videos as well, and don't forget your comments. But expect other advanced features of which I will be speaking about and actually show you how to configure them. Okay, thank you for watching again.